This is Matt for Into Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by matchmaker Carl Greaves. Carl, how are you finding it? Big night tonight. Excited?
I am, mate, yeah. It's going to be a good fight. Great night, some good fights on. So let's see, but going to be enjoyable, and it's great to have it in Cardiff. They love the boxing here. Got a lot of history, obviously, with Joe Calzaghe, and we've had some great fighters over the years, so it's nice to be in Cardiff.
A huge headline act, and it's got a bit of needle to it. This place will go off in here tonight. When you see the tight entrances, do you think a bit of a risk?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I've been changing my mind, not sure which one's going to win, but I've decided now. I've had a good think about it and looked at it deep, and I'm going to go for Eubank on points.
Why Eubank on points? I wanted to ask you this as well. Do you think the trainers will play a key part in this? You've Roy Jones, obviously, who's trying to implement his style a little bit on Chris, teach him some new things, but you've got Adam Booth, for me, who could play a big part in what Liam can do in the ring. Yeah,
obviously Adam's got history with Eubank. He did some training with him, so he'll know Eubank's style. Obviously Roy's going to try and adjust that a little bit, but like you say, it's going to probably go down to tactics and who's got the best game plan. But I just feel at this stage Eubank just looks a little bit fresher. Not really been any wars. The last time Liam Williams boxed Andrade was a tough fight. We don't know how much that's took out of him, but I think Liam will have a great start. He looks a bigger man as well. I mean, Chris got the 5 o'clock head-to-head yesterday. He looked like he'd not put an ounce on, you know what I mean? Still shredded. Where Liam looks a little bit of a bigger man, and today I think he'll weigh a little bit more than Chris. He'll be a bit more physical and stronger. I think he'll have a good start, but then I just feel that Chris's speed and work rate will probably outwork Liam down the stretch, and he'll either get a late stoppage or beat him on points.
Another big name on the card, Clarissa Shields. I've been wanting to see her live for a long time, so I'm so pleased she's coming. She's going to perform in Cardiff. She's been a superstar all week. She's lit up the place. What do you make of her? And that there's going to be a huge fight with Savannah Marshall, providing everything goes well tonight.
Yeah, that's great. Great for women's boxing. She's a proper character. The Yanks have always had a bit of charisma and a bit of character about him, but she's exciting. She's a very good fighter. She's strong. She can punch. And yeah, it's nice to have her in Britain, and obviously building up for a nice unification fight with Savannah Marshall. We've been told it's going to maybe happen in June, so that's going to be fantastic.
Who'd you pick for that one? You've got the classic boxer against Savannah, who's obviously she's got boxing skills, but what everyone talks about her is that raw power. So if you were to put your money on one or the other now, where would you put it?
I feel that home advantage is going to be a big key in that. And if we can get it in Britain, I'm going to favour Savannah. If we can get it in Britain, I'm not sure where they're saying they're going to have it, but yeah, I mean, I've not seen too much of Clarissa, to be honest. I've been ringside a couple of times with Savannah. Very good fighter, good puncher, got a good variation. So it's all exciting. It's going to be some interesting fights to be made.
Let's talk about your fighter, David Avanesian. He seems to be like the Philip Hergovich of his division. Nobody wants to fight him, it seems. A lot of talk about Conor Benn fighting him, and we know what they're trying to do with Conor, and they're building him up slowly, and he's getting the big fights and stuff like that. But what's the plan for David? When's he next going to be out, and what sort of fights are going to be in?
Yeah, it's a bit up in the air at the minute. It's either going to be another European title defence. I only found this out today. Obviously, been speaking to Neil's manager, Neil Marsh, and it's either going to be European title defence in March, or he may be getting on the big Fury Whyte bill on the undercard of that in the final eliminator for the WBC World Title. So there's work to be done. We should know in the next few days where we're going, but he's due to come over next week to start camp. But obviously, if he's going to be fighting the back end of April, we'll probably have to stall that and bring him in a bit later on.
The fight with Conor, I know there's been a lot of back and forth. Eddie says this and Frank says, look, we'll pay Avanesian, you just pay Conor. Was that ever, by your knowledge, put to Matchroom to say, look, we'll cover him, you pay Conor? Was that ever discussed?
You know what, it's crazy how this fight's just got out of proportion, blew out of proportion, because he's never ever been on our radar. I mean, let's be truthful, David's a step above Conor. I mean, David's on the verge of a world title fight. Conor's a step up for David, but a step back for a step up for, you know what I mean? It's a step up for him, but it's a step backwards for David. And like, David's a bit annoyed how it's getting a bit out, you know what I mean, all this is being said and that, because David's not actually said anything about Conor. He's not really interested in the fight, you know what I mean? He wants to move on to bigger and better things and fight for a world title. But listen, it is a massive fight. Regardless of what Eddie says, regardless of what anybody else says, trying to play it down that David's not a big enough name, he don't draw a crowd and what have you. Listen, that is a big fight. Who would the British public rather see Conor fight? David Avanesian or Maurice Hooker? You know what I mean? There's no questions asked. So they're just mugging themselves off, really. Listen, the bottom line is they don't want to fight David. They're not ready for David, which is fair enough. Yeah. But don't play it down and make it look like David's not a draw and not worth fighting for, and he's after the money and a payday. David's on a big contract, he's on big money, he's not after no payday. You know what I mean? David just wants a world title fight, so whoever it's going to be will take.
Well, he very may well get it if you're mentioning an eliminator on Fury Whyte, and if he does get the WBC, he almost holds the cards then, doesn't he, and decides what he wants to do, whether he unifies, etc, etc. Let's talk about that fight. Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. I think it almost like got bypassed when everyone was talking about step aside about how big this fight actually is. It's crazy big. Two big personalities, incredible build up, and it'll be a brilliant fight. What do you think on that fight?
I mean, you've got to go with Fury. I mean, listen, he's a great fighter, good boxer, good skill, got good power. But Whyte's got this confidence about him, and he feels he's got Fury's number. Apparently they've sparred in the past, and it came out that Whyte was all over him. So listen, sparring, it don't mean nothing. I mean, I've seen so many spars over the years, and you wouldn't know who the champion is. You know what I mean? But it's on the night that counts, and I just feel that he's got so much more boxing ability, Fury, than Whyte. I mean, Whyte's big, strong, heavy-handed, but he's a bit cumbersome, and I just feel that he's got too much for him, Fury has.
What do you make of Joshua and the rematch with Usyk? Obviously, it's imminent that there's going to be changes. That's quite clear. Everyone's been saying it. We've been talking about a trainer coming over from the States. What do you make of that rematch, and can Anthony Joshua put it right?
I don't think he can. I think Usyk's got his number. I really do. I mean, he beat him last time. Why won't he beat him again? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously Joshua's got to make some big changes if he's going to beat Usyk, and he's going to be doing that obviously by training trainers, and obviously we ain't been announced who he's going to be a trainer yet. But I don't know. I mean, the position we're in now, Joshua's got to fight him, hasn't he? Yeah. I honestly don't think they want that fight really, but now obviously Fury and Whyte signed, or not signed yet, but on the verge of being made. Where does it leave Joshua? So he's going to have to fight Usyk. Yeah,
there's only one fight for him to take there, and it really is. If he manages to do that, it'd be an incredible achievement, 3-time heavyweight champion, and that would then line up for the winner of Fury Whyte. And whatever happens, it's just big fights. Even whoever loses in each fight could fight each other. It'd be incredible. Right, Carl, thanks for talking to Into Boxing. Appreciate your thoughts on tonight, and let's hope it's a good one.
Top man, thank you very much. Cheers.